This my property is taken away through a legislative diktat. The intent of the act is to preserve my right. 2025 destroys it, takes it away. The intent of both these acts was never to take over, Malats, the rights of a minority community for religious purposes, using this property for religious purposes. Never the intent. But the 2025 is a complete departure. Now destroyed that character by directly encroaching upon the minority's right under 25, that it is my property. I cannot create a Waqf unless it is my property. And this my property is taken away through a legislative diktat. In other words, a person's property is acquired.
Section 6.
Section 4, Mullahs, I was showing to your lordships. Declarations are under Section 3 or protected monument. 4 says that, look, it can be purchased, it can be taken on lease. 5 says there has to be an agreement for preservation. I don't want to read all of it, Mullahs, because there's not enough time. It's only prima facie. And then Section 10 says compulsory purchase of ancient monument if the central government apprehends that a protected monument is in danger of being destroyed, injured, or allowed to fall into decay, the central government may direct the state government to acquire it. This is not the case. Here, pursuant to a declaration, the acquisition takes place. And the Waqf is void. And says the powers of compulsory purchase conferred under 1 shall not be exercised in the case of any monument which or any part of which is periodically used for religious observance, or any monument which is the subject matter of subsisting agreement executed under 5. So the intent of the act is to preserve my right. 2025 destroys it, takes it away, expropriates it, and through a diktat. And the definition itself, Mullahs, actually doesn't talk of a religious construction. Now kindly see, Mullahs. Let's go to the other act now. Now kindly see the 58 Act. At page, Mullahs, 3 of this book. Now, if your lordship looked. Yes. All these declarations, Mullahs, were made in 1904 and continued in 1958. And they are giving them retrospective effect to take away the Waqf character. Now kindly see, Mullahs, the definition itself at page 3 is the same as in the 1904 Act. So I won't read it, Mullahs. It has no religious color to it. And then, Mullahs, kindly come to Section 5 at page 7. It's the same, Mullahs. It is exactly the same as in the 1904 Act, Section 4. Acquisition of rights in a protected monument, exactly the same. And it says subsection 6, just note that, Mullahs, at page 7, nothing in this section shall affect the use of any protected monument for customary religious observances. So the intent of both these acts was never to take over, Mullahs, the rights of a minority community for religious purposes, using this property for religious purposes. Never the intent. But the 2025 is a complete departure. And then kindly come to Section 13. Yeah. Mullahs, you may have a protected monument. Mullahs, actually, there are many of these which have nothing to do with religious purposes also. So it may be dilapidated. The owner he says, I can't really keep up the maintenance of this protected monument. So under 6, they can have, Mullahs, an agreement. That's the spirit of the act. And then Section 13 is acquisition. It is the same one. The definition is almost the same. Yes. Now, let's kindly see 13. If the central government apprehends that a protected monument is in danger of being destroyed, injured, misused, or allowed to fall into decay, it may acquire the protected monument under the provisions of the Land Acquisition Act. The intent was never to take away property. Otherwise, this provision would never be there. Because as I said, the underlying purpose of a trust, of a Waqf, is that I create a Waqf through my ownership of that property. So if I'm taking away somebody's ownership, even if you were to acquire it, you will have to give compensation under the Land Acquisition Act. Now again, through legislative diktat, they've done away with this. So it's violation of 300A, it's a violation of 14, it's a violation of 25 and 26, per se. And section 24 is identical, 20 is power to acquire protected areas. The same thing as protected monuments is in 13 and protected areas are 20. And kindly now see 16, very important section. This is at page 10. A protected monument maintained by the central government under this act, which is a place of worship or shrine, shall not be used for any purpose inconsistent with its character. So these statutes preserve the character of either the ancient monument or the protected area. And you have now destroyed that character by directly encroaching upon the minority's right under 25. There has to be a legislative rationale which must be evident by reading the provisions of the Act. I'll continue it. One second.
Which work?
Not too much time, but my learned friends may also.
I would also like.
Yes. Not too much time.
While not repeating anything.
That everybody says. But always in breach.
In his case, it's the proof of the pudding is in the eating. He always deeply obsessed.